Hi, Sanjana. I wanted to give you some feedback on your week one writing assignment. First off, let's talk about your formatting. It looks pretty good. You have a very professional heading and header over here. However, I wanted to point something out to you. On your second page, your heading still appears. In MLA, you only want your heading, which is your name, the instructor's name, the course name, and the date on the first page. It's the header that occurs up here in the right hand corner that includes your last name and your page number. That's what you want to include on each subsequent page after the first one. So, my guess is what happened is whatever word processing program you used, you opened up the tool that helps you do the header, and you kept it open when you included your heading as well. Put in your last name, page number in the right hand corner, close your header tool, and then go over and create your heading, and then you won't have it appear on each page. In terms of your response, great work. I like the ideas that you shared. I think they're very relatable. I think you have a good sense of paragraphing and also a good sense of flow, meaning that the ideas that you're exploring in one paragraph transition really easily into the next two. And I really like your application of the discussion that you had as well. Feels like really good life advice for all of us. So nice work there. There's just a few places here and there that could use a little bit of tweaking and polishing to help clarify your ideas. So there's just a few areas where your sentences are a little awkward and confusing for the reader. So, and one is in your first sentence, which is particularly problematic, right? Because our first sentence is like, it's like meeting somebody for the first time. You want to make a good impression. So everything looks pretty good except for this middle clause, the clause that's sandwiched in between the two commas. So let me read this to you. Our personal experiences, individual beliefs, and the environment in which we grow up in often shapes who we are as we mature throughout the years. I can follow that perfectly. I know exactly what you're talking about, and you gave me three really good examples that are used to shape identity. It's this next part where things get fuzzy. With each life lesson learnt along the way, is there for a purpose? That's where it gets a little fuzzy. So I think going back and tweaking there is what you want to do, guiding us into forming our sense of self and becoming who we are. And that part works really well too. It's that middle clause that could use a little bit of tweaking. And you can handle that more than one way. Clarify what you mean there, or perhaps really that sentence is better suited as two sentences instead of one. Another thing that I want to point out to you is point of view. So there was a couple places in the text that I got a little bit confused by your point of view shift. So you're using first person consistently throughout this essay, but you shift back and forth between we and I. So you're using first person plural, we, and then first person I singular, or first person singular I. And that going back and forth gets a little bit confusing for the audience. You can do one of two things. Make your point of view consistent, meaning only use one pronoun or and one pronoun tense throughout the entire essay, which I think the easiest thing would be I. Or when you say we, figure out exactly who you mean or say that a little bit more concretely. Because I feel like in the moments when you're saying we, it's like you're being informal. So if you and I were having a conversation, you might say, you know how you, or you know how we usually do that, and what you mean is, you know how human beings have a habit of doing X, right? Like, so I think that's what you mean there. But the point of view makes it a little bit confusing, and it becomes informal when it's in writing. In speech, we can get away with it. So let me show you an example of this. Oh, I just had it. Where is it? Ah, here it is. You say in situations where we discuss opposing viewpoints, I would listen but not understand. So there it really feels like you literally mean me and you, where we have discussed uh, opposing viewpoints, but I don't think you mean that. And I think a better solution there would be in situations where I discuss opposing viewpoints, I would listen but not understand. That's going to be far more clear in that case. So, really small things. But these are things that are going to make your ideas more clear for the reader, which is ultimately what we want. Okay, so good work.